Hi boys and girls, it's Miss Bannon here to teach you a little bit about time. So today we are going to be using these snap cubes to help us count by fives and then create our own analog clock. So an analog clock is a special type of clock because it has something called hands. These two pieces of our clock are called hands, and that's what helps us tell the time each day. So as you can see, I have different colored snap cubes laid out on our table, and each color is divided into different sections of 5. I did this to help us because in 2nd grade, we need to know how to tell time by counting by 5s. So on our clock, the first set of 5 would be labeled with the number 1. So I'm going to show you this. I'm going to take this orange group of snap cubes off, and I'm going to start to make our analog clock. So these 5 snap cubes would start our clock, and we would represent that with the number 1. If we continue to go, the next group of 5 would be 10 minutes, and that would be represented with the number 2. If we were to keep going, this would be 3, 4, 5, and so on. So I'm going to show you that on our analog clock. The reason why I have grouped these cubes into 5 is because each time we see a large number on our clock, we say the next group of 5. Okay, so when we get to the 12, we are officially at 60 minutes. Some of you may know that there are 60 minutes in an hour, and what that means is we would say the next hour. So if it was 6:59, when we got to the 12, or the next 60 minutes, we would then say it was 7 o'clock. Let's practice telling time on our large clock. So Miss Bannon is going to draw a shorthand pointing to the 10. Now I know you guys are at home and not learning with me, so I won't be able to hear you, but I want you guys to tell Miss Bannon, what is this shorthand? Is that known as your minute hand, or is that known as your hour hand? If you said the hour hand, you are correct. Now I'm going to draw a longer hand pointing at our 3. Since the shorter hand is known as our hour hand, the longer hand would have to be our minute hand. Our minute hand is pointing to the 3, but remember I told you that we count in groups of 5. So if the minute hand is pointing to the 3, we would actually say that it was 10, and 15 minutes. I know I've taught you guys some of this on our drops in the bucket, and we always start with our hour first. So we said that our shorthand was our hour hand, that's pointing to the 10. Our long hand is our minute hand, and we always count by 5s. So 5, 10, 15. And that is how we got the time of 10:15. Now I want you guys to try some of these problems with me. So I have my little clock here. And right now I have my short hand and my long hand pointing to 2 different numbers. So remember up there I told you that we always want to start with our hour hand first and our minute hand second. So like before, our hour hand is going to be our shorter hand. So here on our mini clock, we can see that our hour hand is pointing between our 4 and our 5. Now, this can be tricky because we don't know if it's pointing directly at our 4 or if it's pointing directly at our 5. But you must ask yourself the question of, is it 5 o'clock yet? And the answer to that question is no. That hour hand is not yet to the 5. Therefore, the hour would still have to be 4. Then I'm going to draw my colon, which we talked about was 2 tiny little dots. And then we need to go back up to the 12. That's always where we start. And if you were in Miss Bannon's math class, you know that we can draw something that looks like a flower. So I always start at my 12, and then I jump to those larger numbers. And I always count by 5. So that would be 5, and our second jump would be 10. So our time shown on this clock would be 4:10. Now I'm going to give you guys one to practice by yourself. So let me go ahead and change our clock hands. Okay. So remember, while you're trying this, you guys want to start with your hour first and then your minute. Zoom in close to it. Give you a couple of seconds to think about it. Remember that short hand is what we want to look at first because that is our hour hand. Our long hand is what we look at second. That's our minute hand. All right, so it would be 7, our 2 dots for our colon, and then we're going to start at our 12 and begin our jumps. So 5, 10, 15, 20, and then this one's going to kind of cut us off, but that would be 25. So the time on our clock right now shows 7:25. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, you know where to find me. I miss you. Bye.